Hey, I'm on the edge of my seat here, back again with another brand new video. So here I have no damage to all the boss fights in Kenzan. While I am working on that new story summary of sorts, I kind of decided, well, why not go revisit the boss fights in Kenzan to kind of refamiliarize myself with the game, kind of get a little bit of that drive going again. And well, this game greeted me with the hardest boss in the game at the very beginning. Now what you're seeing here is a guy you're supposed to lose to in the game. Pretty much once your health reaches the halfway point, the fight ends, the cutscene moves on, yada yada. However, for no damage, this is hell because it is actually possible to beat this guy, because I do so right now, but not without excruciating effort over and over, hours and hours, 5, 7. This is the worst experience I've had no damaging a boss fight. It took forever. Oh man, I mean, where to start with this guy? So pretty much in the beginning, I had to do a really tedious strat where I pretty much waited for him to attack and then I poke him. And the only real time I could attack him was when he did his little combo, so I could dodge behind, do a full combo. However, once he gets a little more aggressive, I thought that'd be a pain in the ass. It was a pain in the ass dealing with it, but then I figured out a strat to make things a lot easier and a lot more active. So pretty much what I do is wait for him to do an attack, like hit him once, and then usually he would, well, not that, that's unusual stuff I don't like. He would do that, which I can dodge behind, and then boom, full combo, deals damage, goes fast, it's active. And while this fight was painful to no damage, I think it's one of my favorites in the game. It's probably my second favorite fight in the game. It's just such a, honestly, it's a pretty neat fight. It's pretty well designed, it keeps you on your toes. I really like it, and well, you know, I mean, the developers don't really have to worry about whether you can actually beat it, because you have to lose to it, but I won, and I feel nice. It's a really cool fight. Oh boy, here is a Majima, and he's really easy here because, well, this is the actual first fight the game wants you to win, and we'll look at that health. That went way down. So yeah, there really isn't much strategy in this fight. There's just a few attacks you can exploit. Like that one's really good to exploit, but you know, don't let him go back because then you can't hit him like that. And then there's a few other combos where you can get a pretty good drop on, but you gotta hit him from the back or else he'll start blocking your stuff. Not really much to say here, you know, it's alright. It's a nice beginner fight if you don't count that other fight which you are technically supposed to lose. Oh, and look at this guy. He is back again, except he's easier despite having a crowd with him. And a big part of that is, instead of having a wooden sword, you have a steel sword, and you have Majima helping you out, and this does a lot to bring the difficulty down. Like, I'll explain. Like, with the enemies, you just kind of crowd around, and, well, Majima is really good crowd control and boss control. He helped a ton in this fight, and he deals some pretty good damage for an ally. So yeah, I mean, once you deal with the goons here, what you start to realize is that one of the main difficulties with this dude in the beginning is that every strike he does breaks your guard, but that was because you had a wooden sword. But once you get a steel sword, you can actually block his attacks. This does so much, because pretty much what happens was, now you can just block his attack, not like that. You can block his attack and then you attack. Well, before you really could not afford to do that. And with Majima getting in those strikes, I can get in those good combos like that. Very nice. This is pretty satisfying to do after the pain that was that first fight. Oh no. And here he is, Majima's back, and this fight sucks. I don't know, I think Majima through OG, Yakuza 1, 2, and here, I think his fights kind of blow. I'd have to revisit the original Yakuza 1 for a little, maybe no damage of that. I mean, it's not like anyone else is gonna do it, but I mean, the Yakuza 2, his fight was extremely frustrating, and the only way to really no damage that was through a really cheap strat, abusing the heat action with the gauntlets. And here, I have to do another like cheap tactic in order to actually get some combos on him, because he dodges too much and he blocks too much, and he just has a lot of combo strings that are just well, anyways, here's my strat. So pretty much start off by blocking, which will lead him to do that little attack where he like throws his little chain, and then stop blocking, because what this does to his enemy is AI is that he just immediately, he goes for that move usually, and once he's done with that move, which you can also block that move, you can go in for a full combo. Why? I don't know, his guard's down. Yeah, pretty much like that, and just repeat that for the whole fight, and you know, throw in a few QTs here and there when Majima's feeling a bit spicy. However, one thing to watch out for is that, you know, once you let go of your guard, he's not always gonna go for that move. He might go for something else. You know, you always gotta stay alert if you want to maybe re-block, because, you know, oh no, that chain goes places. And, oh, here you go, he's dropping a rock. Very nice. So yeah, this fight definitely is not great. However, it gets worse. He comes back later in the game, and he comes back with an even shittier fight. Which, hey, I mean, once we get there, I'll explain why it sucks. But yeah, I don't know. Majima's fights only really got good in 3, because in 3 you got the Kamaki parry, and it was just that flowed nicely. Well, here, I mean, at the very least, there is a way to deal with this guy and deal good damage to this guy, which will not be the same case once we get to him later in the game. But oh well, at least he's dope in 3, 4, 5, and every other game after that. Now this guy, I don't know who this guy is. He's just some like lame nobody, which Kiryu kind of fights for like a teaching school or whatever. But anyways, yeah, this guy's really nondescript. His fighting style might as well be just some random enemies. It probably already is just some random enemies in this game, not even future games, which tend to copy previous games' boss fight movesets for its enemies. Like, I swear, like, there was this one fight in Yakuza 3, like, in the strip club and all that. Enemies copy that moveset, like, random goons in 5 I've seen use that moveset. It's like, bruh, these dudes really know the ancient karate and all that. Crazy. Well, anyways, the strategy for this guy, there really isn't much strategy. I just kind of, the way I handle it is I kind of back off, wait for him to do an attack, and then I just go for a full combo regardless if he blocks it or not, because most of the time he'll just let me do the full combo. Not really much. There really isn't much to him. To be fair, most boss fights in Kenzan kind of work like that. They kind of work like Sword Ryuji, where, you know, let him do his little combo and then go in for a full combo. I mean, that will work most of the time, minus maybe 1 or 2 alterations here. Or maybe minus 1 or 2 boss fights that are a little better than the norm. This game definitely has some good boss fights. That beginning fight I really like, because of that, I have to bait out attacks, I have to kind of make openings. I like that. Well, this guy, whatever. Ooh, but this guy, though, oh, this guy's badass. I like this guy. So yeah, this guy's got a really neat moveset. I mean, then again, it is kind of following that same thing where wait for him to do an attack and then go into a full combo yourself. But there's just a lot of different layers to this guy that's really cool. He has a great theme. Like, look at the way he walks, and then when he does this, you can go in for Oh, this move, which is pretty useless and you rarely have to use it, but here it's really useful because pretty much when he does that little sword grab, is if you go for a sword combo, he'll just deflect it and go for a full combo of his own, which pretty much screws you over if you're doing no damage. However, doing that little guard break doesn't activate that like retaliation move, so you can just do 4 of those and bada bing bada boom, you're good. Definitely keep a good distance from this guy because his swings are wide, and also you don't really want to attack him before like he does an attack because he dodges and then he pretty much does like a dodge attack. He pretty much dodges and just swings, which is really neat. Oh yeah, this guy comes back, and he comes back better than ever. However, in my no damage attempt, I kind of screw him over from any of the new cool stuff he does. You'll see what I mean when we get there. And that was a cool finish to that fight. Heat move. And now, this dude is epic. He's not that hard of a fight, but man, that music, oh man, that is so good. So good. That's easily the best track in the game. It is so epic. In this setting, the dawn, the water, oh man, it's beautiful. So beautiful. It gets a remix in Inshun with another great fight. Maybe I'll revisit that game someday. So yeah, kind of the same strat as before. Wait for him to do an attack and then pretty much go for a full combo of your own. Wait, actually no, there's a little bit more going on with this guy. However, some of his more interesting combos come later once he dies. And well, that's another cool thing about this guy is he has 3 phases to his fight. They're not really as grand as a 3-phase fight as you would expect, but it is pretty neat, and it is different from the norm. Also, this guy is mocapped by the voice actor of Kawara, how do you pronounce that? Okay, Kawara from Yakuza 2, which is pretty badass. And also in Kiwami 2, he mocaps that original character again, which was also pretty badass. But his first mocap appearance is in this game. And well, Kenzan's the first time they started using mocap actors, and yeah, I think it works really well for this game. I don't know, maybe it's a little detail I'll explain more in the story summary series. Oh yeah, so the interesting combo he does, he pretty much wants to do that dodge twice and then go for a full combo on his back. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting because you can't really dodge once because you'll kind of get stuck in the middle of that, but a double dodge gets you in perfect position to do that nice, beautiful combo. And here we have a mini boss. Now, one fun thing is that with Yakuza Kenzen is that it's in Japanese, right? It hasn't been released in the States. It's on PS3, so really, this game does not get much traction. Definitely not as much as some of the newer games, and also it's the third Yakuza game ever. It's quite old. I actually don't know what year it came out in. I think 2007, 2008. I don't know, but pretty much. Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that there are not that many videos on this game, and there are not that many no damage videos on this game. However, unlike Yakuza 2, someone else actually has no damage to the game. Well, okay, to be fair with Yakuza 2, I think there might have been one video where it do no damage is all the boss fights, but I think he did it with weapons or whatever. No, that's just not my style. But okay, pretty much back to the thing. So with Kenzan, there is one guy who has actually no damage all the boss fights in this game, and his name is Dr. W, who is a boss Yakuza player, just like Dante Devil 12. He plays the games in a really smart, efficient way to do no damage. He also like likes to use a lot of items which like do massive damage, but hey, I mean, you know, anything goes really. And he did a video on Kenzan where he no damages all boss fights. However, he left a few guys out, like this guy and the boss that's coming up next. Thankfully with this guy, he isn't all that hard, but the next guy, I had a little bit of trouble figuring out how to deal with him. I'll get to him when I get to him, but this guy, he kind of has the standard heavy weapon moveset, which was introduced in this game, and well, future games will copy over and over. Such is the case with Yakuza. Oh yeah, but this setting is really dope. The way he just like breaks the building, throws it at you, yo, that's fire. I hate this fight. Oh man, and this is one which I could not look up a previous video to see any previous stats. I had to come up with it on my own, bro. What's going on with that? Oh man. Okay, so pretty much the strategy here. There are 3 ninjas. They're assholes, but they have pretty low defense. Pretty much like if you try to attack them, they'll like start hopping around like little dumb rabbits. But if you catch them in the middle of their dodge or while they're kind of standing around, they might just drop their guard and like let you do a full combo on them. So pretty much that's how you eliminate the first 2 guys. I kind of went with the big sword because it does a little more damage and I think it might be a little more efficient to dealing with them. And also I got really lucky there with the white ninjas because I got a hit in before, like my combo pushed me far enough away where the other guy couldn't like land his combo on me. And as for the big ninja, I pretty much just kind of run away and then go back and then I do my full combo. And the reason I do that is because if you get too close to them, you'll start pulling out a lot of really nasty tricks like bombs and spikes and a whole bunch of other crap which I do not like dealing with. Oh yeah, I'm dealing with this next guy, and this next guy is really easy. However, he has a really pain in the ass move. Look at that, the fucking poke. Hate that, bro. But if you know it's coming, you just block and then do a full combo. However, that poke comes out fast. You need to bring out that block immediately. And alright, here is the next boss fight. And yeah, these boss fights are going by pretty quick because I mean, once you start abusing them, oh man. And also, well, disclaimer, I'm playing this on New Game Plus with my character completely maxed out. And also with some pretty powerful swords. They deal big baby damage. I don't think they're the most powerful swords in the game because Dr. W's playthrough, he was using some glowing stuff that dealt nuclear damage. But yeah, my swords still are massive killer beasts. But yeah, this guy's really not all that notable. Just kind of the same as that lame dude in the dojo. And yeah, the next guy is kind of another case of a spam and also maybe block his attacks. Oh yeah, I did do one cool thing though. I did the flying sumo heat action, except in this game it's less of a sumo, more like a kick in the air and then a slash in the air. It is still the best heat move in this game, and it's even more useful here because those dodge rolls have such good iframes, and the attack I swear never misses except for this one exception, and it's a terrible exception. I'll get to it when I get to it. So yeah, anyways, yeah, okay, damn, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so anyways, max level. So yeah, being max level in this game pretty much increases your health and your speed. So pretty much speed is extremely important. You attack so fast once you're max level, especially with the knife, which I never use because I mean, you know, why use a knife when you have a sword? So you attack so fast with a knife that it makes me kind of depressed. You can never be that fast in any of the future games, or at least none of the future games have allowed you to be that fast. I would love to use the knife more in like future Yakuza games if it moved as fast as it did in Kenzan though. Yo, bro, that'd be so fire though. Okay, but yeah, one crappy thing about the New Game Plus is that you pretty much have to redo all your training to get all the new moves. So pretty much Yakuza Kenzen has a neat little upgrade system where you don't really there's no upgrade tree per se, but you kind of get new moves by just learning them from training, which is a really neat thing. However, on New Game Plus, you don't retain any of those moves. You have to relearn them. And for this no damage thing where I just kind of want to run through the game and fight the boss fights, that's a pain in the ass. It's such stupid, like, New Game Plus design. It's so boneheaded. Yeah, so anyways, this guy's really cool, but I screw him over because at one point I just keep spamming the combo and he can't do anything about it. I think I just broke his AI. yeah, like right here, this is a combo which you will be seeing again, but for much worse fights. And it's just, well, this guy just gets trapped in it and he can't do anything about it. Like, he has this whole phase where he runs around like going woo, 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 and he also does maybe a few heat actions here and there, but I just completely skipped that just by screwing him over. Now this guy sucks, and I do a little spammy stun lock combo because he is garbage. Pretty much what happens is once you reach half of his yellow health, you pretty much go into like a pre-contextual thing where he summons his goons to like fight with him, and we do not want that, because once that happens, he becomes an asshole and he just starts running away, throwing stars at you, dodging around like a ninja. He becomes unbearable to deal with. So here, pretty much keep spamming him. What he's supposed to do is block most of your hits, but the thing is, if you get behind him even for a little bit, you can actually deal damage to him like that. And well, when that happens, usually like my attack misses and it pretty much goes immediately into that pre-contextual thing. But thankfully, the guy swings around back to blocking, so I get this really convenient, really nice hit. See, that hit misses, so it goes into that like little calling the goons thing. I guess if this was on PS4, it would load faster, and you know, I couldn't be able to do this. But thankfully, we're on PS3, and I can just keep abusing him before that thing loads in. And now that his health is so low, it's going to be a lot easier to, like, you know, chip him down even with all the enemies. But still, this is terrible. Like, oh man, he's just throwing ninja stars. He has to deal with all these aggressive goons. Like, oh man, I mean, like, it's just a nightmare to deal with if you fight this guy normally. But thankfully, I was able to spam him down back to like this health, and then boom, it's over. But not before he gets up to try to deal one last blow, but Kiryu gives him the bitch slap to put him down. And here is Majima. This fight is awful, like I said again. And oh boy, we're about to learn all about just why this fight is so garbage. Like, okay, so in the first Majima fight, you could block his attacks. Nope, that's not gonna happen this time. Because that little combo, which I always block, Majima added a new little thing where pretty much he'll throw that first little jab, but then he has a second jab which goes past your block and screws you over. You can't even really dodge to the left or right because it goes all around him, so you just get caught in it. So I had to adapt myself to a brand new strategy where once he does a dodge, go for a 3-hitter. Only the first hit will hit him because his defense has gone way up. Oh man, oh, this is such garbage. Like, okay, so his defense has gone way up, so like you can still like abuse that one combo he does where he goes ooh, and then he does a little jump. However, you're not gonna be able to deal full combo damage. You're only gonna be able to do one hit because then he just blocks everything else. Oh man, this guy is such a garbage. But yeah, pretty much what you do is that once you actually able to land like that one hit and then the rest of the hits get blocked, wait for him to do a dodge and then continue that combo. Just keep spamming that over and over and over. However, if you lose that momentum, how to get back into it? Pray. Like, I just kind of go for it when I feel like lucky because I don't really have a consistent way to do it. Oh, well, yeah, QT is really cool, but yeah, I'm just saying this fight is just garbage and it's so dragged out because I can only poke at it and it's just like, ugh. For such a fast guy, this fight is a slug. Oh man. And here is the return of the dude from the beginning and his final fight. And I gotta say, they did him mad dirty by only giving him 2 health bars. The first time you fight him, he had like half of a green one, which is just 2.5 life bars. But his final epic fight, he only has 2, man. It's such a downgrade. It's just funny how like his fights kind of get easier as they go along. It's like, bruh, why you gotta do him like that? But this is such a dope fight though. I just wish he had more health, because he kind of goes down a little like too fast. But like this setting, like the little pond there, the house, just the nighttime vibe, just the final fight against the dude he fought against the beginning, it's awesome. It's epic. It's badass. I love it. And also, this environment is so dope that they kind of like revisited it in Judgment. I'm gonna say they kind of had the same type of environment, and that fight in Judgment was also dope. So yeah, kind of same strategy, except I adapted it for dual swords, because the dual sword combos are the best in the game. Because you can pretty much do a 6-hit attack string, which deals the most damage. Because light attacks and heavy attacks aren't really all that different in this game. They both deal pretty big damage. And here is the, well, what I'd like to consider the final boss of the game, like the actual final boss. And I really like this fight. This is the best fight in the game. Now, the strategy to this guy is a little simple. Pretty much, the attack you want to like pretty much like punish is that little like spinny that attack, because pretty much like dodge once to get behind him and then do a full combo. However, you gotta watch out for when he does that. Immediately cancel that out with like the scissor technique. And now a little thing I added for flavor is to add in that flying sumo heat action once he's done with that red heat, because, well, I've tried to do the flying sumo thing while he was doing red, but what usually happened was he'd be in red mode once the heat action was over, and you do not want him to be in red mode, because once he's in red mode, he pretty much gains super armor. But the thing is, oh man, that red mode goes places, because if you let him go on red mode for way too long, there's the first phase where he gets super armor, then there's the second phase where he gets super armor and goes fast, and then there's a third phase where he goes super saiyan and really just becomes, ooh, he runs so fast, and you just want to avoid that. Just cancel that now. Oh yeah, and also there is the one combo where you dodge twice to get behind them and you can do the full combo. Yeah, this is a really neat fight. There's just a lot to keep tactics of, a lot of things. The setting is awesome, the music is epic, it's just really nice, and I will talk about it more in my review. And now, oh, here we go. Here's the introduction for the 5 demons, and also the introduction to one of the best final levels in any of the Yakuza games. It's such a dope-ass level. Dog, the ninjas, they just disappeared. And also, here is the first ninja. So now these guys, they're not all that great. This first guy is an okay fight. It's pretty much just a heavy guy, except he throws ninja stars. Kind of annoying to deal with, but not impossible. Just kind of keep on your toes, get that block going. And pretty much the way you want to deal with him is you want to get close to kind of bait out his big heavy attacks, but then, you know, get away once he does his heavy attacks, and then pretty much do the combo on him once he's at the end of the heavy combo. But these ninja stars are a massive problem. You want to close like the gap between you as fast as possible. And also he does the same heat action as the red heavy guy before, except it's wood, and not as cool as the big burning building, but it'll do. So yeah, you definitely want to. Oh, but sometimes he'll close the distance to you, but then he just goes back to throwing ninja stars like an asshole. Like, okay, all right. Oh yeah, but another neat thing about the dual swords is, well, you know grab combos in Yakuza where at the end of a finisher you can follow it up with a grab to kind of throw the enemy. Well, the dual swords doesn't have that, but one of the combo enders pretty much functions as that. So pretty much you have a 5-hitter, which is like the most like combos as possible. However, you have a 4-hitter, which that finisher pretty much stabs the enemy and like launches them on the rest like that. That's beautiful. It gets them on the ground. You can do a heat action, or you can set up for some more spam dodge, like so. Beautiful. Nice. What a great move. And okay, well, like I said, these fights aren't all that great, and what I meant by that is that Demons 2 and 3 are... Ooh, I don't like them. That's putting it lightly. I don't like them. Well, so with this guy by himself wouldn't be that bad, because if you can bring out your heavy sword, he ain't that bad of a fight. But then you got these fire arrows, which are just assholes. And the only way to deal with them is to go into that little cramp. There's like a little cramp like cover place you can go to, but it is so cramped. And this guy just gets like the handle on you when you're in such a cramped place. I hate it. It's such a pain for no damage. So the way I deal with it is to pretty much abuse that flying sumo, because the great thing about having full heat bars and the flying sumo is you can do it 3 times over, dealing massive damage. And then once he's kind of with his little nipple of a life bar, I pretty much just poke at him with the dual swords. However, he is nowhere near as bad as this guy. This guy is the worst boss in the game. Oh my, what were they thinking? Oh no. Okay, so pretty much what I hate about this guy is that, okay, they have this grab for all the fat enemies in this game, which is such a shitty move. Pretty much, they don't telegraph it. It's extremely hard to avoid. If you're in their line of contact, they will just immediately grab you, throw you to the ground. You can't do shit about it. I hate this enemies type so much. It never returns in any other Yakuza games, which is such a surprise. In a series that is constantly reusing movesets, the people, Nagoshi, like had the right, was enlightened enough to see like, no, this is too shit. We can't put it in any future entries. It's so shit, we can't do it, which is like, damn, considering some of the other stuff they brought back, it's like, that is saying something. This might actually be the worst enemy type in the series. And the worst part is that, like, you know, when they're just like an enemy, you can just hit them with the swords because they can't really block it. But this guy has iron gauntlets, which just block all your attacks. So I pretty much had to do that thing where I abused the flying sumo, and then I try to bait it out by like putting my back to him, because once you put your back to him, if he grabs you, you can actually counter it using a move you learned from Komaki. But if you're in the front, boop, grab, thrown to the side like a little bitch, and I hate it. Now this spear guy ain't so bad. You can pretty much, like, I mean, I kind of approached him with like a little, wait, did I approach him with a heat move? I don't know, I forget. But pretty much you can kind of go do a full combo and then kind of wait out that heat mode, because once he's in heat mode, if you're too close, he'll do the heat action of your own. He just stabs you and just throws you over, and that's no fun. That little transition's pretty cool though. So yeah, now here I'm gonna do a couple flying sumos just kind of to cut that health bar down to size, and yeah, this fight's pretty cool. It's a great setting. It would be better if it was a better fight, but I mean it's decent for what it is. It's nowhere near as bad as the Demons 2 or 3. Oh man. Yeah, look at that, those iframes on the roll. Like, I don't know, in Yakuza 3, like, the heat action would just disappear if you did that. But here, you can just immediately go into it. It's so beautiful. Oh yeah, that one exception I mentioned. It's with the fat guy. So pretty much, sometimes I rolled into that guy while he was doing his grab. That grab is so overpowered that it overpowers the flying sumo. That's how you know it's trash. I'm so glad I never see that in any of the future games. Imagine that in the Dragon Engine. Ah! Oh, it'd be so garbage. Here we go, the Demon 5. This guy was definitely troublesome because he's very similar to the ninjas you fight earlier in the game in the burning building, except instead of the big guy being like having this like weird moveset where he just has these huge swords and these combos which you can't really block, he's just a bigger version of the white ninjas with a couple new moves like this fire breathing attack, which is garbage but comes up very rarely, thankfully, especially with the strat I use. And also just kind of throw spikes around, which is very annoying. You definitely want to like play around so that you avoid that. So like the strategy here is pretty much just run away and poke at them once they come at you. You know, because you do not want this guy throwing ninja stars at you. And then once you get to this guy, spam combo. However, it is not that easy. The way I did it here is honestly sheer luck. Like I just got extremely lucky and hit him at just the right time that he just like his brain just shuts down and he becomes kaput. And he just like drops his guard completely. Just look at that. What's usually supposed to happen there is that he goes invincible and goes into a smoke mode and summons 5 more ninjas. Nope. Nope, I just shut him down completely. No guard, no nothing, just anyways, okay, so this guy, he's the actual final boss, but I don't count him as much. He's just kind of like a gun flanky, kind of like the dude in 4. Like the actual final boss was this dude on the beach. He's like a cool Yakuza final boss, which, you know, I don't mind that so much. Because, you know, you got your cool final Yakuza boss fight, then you got a couple of cool little extras with the demons, and this guy's just kind of to end the game on it for thematic purposes, which I'll get into more in my story summary series. Yeah, this guy's really easy, but you want to watch out though. He can be a bit of a prick. He, like, pretty much, you can't block any of his gunshots. Well, unless you use the heavy sword, but they come out extremely quickly. Like, the dude just does not probably just shoot. And he just runs back. So pretty much like what I do is, you attack immediately. You can do like 2 combos, but the second combo you definitely want to like do that little like grab combo, so you can throw him on the ground, do a heat action. Because once he gets up, do a combo, and then do that second combo, do the grab combo again. Until he gets to his final health bar. Then go run away from his bullets, because then he's going to enter healing mode. Once he enters healing mode, go abuse him with the first combo, full combo, and then the second combo, you're going to want to make it a grab combo. And, well, it's over. Except it's not. It's Amon, baby. This is probably one of my favorite Amon fights in the series. Mind you, the ones I've beaten is the original Yakuza 2 Amon in Yakuza 3, Amon in Yakuza 5, Amon in Yakuza 6, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, Judgment, Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise, and yeah, I think like, it's Yakuza 0's Jomons, and yeah, off the top of my head, those are the Amons I've beaten. I still have to beat OG 1's Jomon, Yakuza 4's Jomon, and the Kirihyo games, but those don't actually have Jomon, those have like a new guy, so you know, that's cool. So yeah, anyways, this fight, this is a really great fight, because, well, you see, Jomon usually isn't a new moveset, it's just like a compilation of a bunch of moves from like boss fights from either previous games or from the very game it's in. However, in this case, most boss fights are pretty simplistic in Kenzan, so when you combine all the moves from these somewhat simple fights, you end up with a more compelling, like, complicated fight. There's just so many, like, different ways to, like, attack Amon here. You have this, where you do one dodge, and you have that one yellow combo where you have to do a double dodge. Like, it's just, you're always on your toes, and it's just really engaging. And it's not just that you're always on your toes, is that, you know, you can't just attack him up front because then he'll like deflect it, but there are good openings to like kind of exploit and deal good damage. You can actually deal full combos to Amon, which is just really fun, except for this phase. Yeah, that first phase is really well designed, but then you get to the second phase and it is, but there is a way to deal with it. So, but the way okay, but here's like the garbage thing about it. The way to deal with this fight is either what I'm doing right now or Tiger Drop spam. So yeah, in this game, you don't unlock the Tiger Drop until very late. And to be fair, the game really isn't designed around it. But except for this guy. But pretty much, you don't really do a Tiger Drop with your fist. The dual swords have like a Tiger Drop equivalent. Thankfully, it's better than like 3's Tiger Drop because you actually have iframes when you like successfully land the attack. But to do the tiger drop thing against this guy requires some very specific timing. Some very specific timing I am not putting up with. Oh man, at the very least, like the strat I did is somewhat original. I mean, you know, no tiger drop run, that's cool. But anyways, what I'm doing is pretty much I start off by waiting for him to like end his combo, and then I poke him. And then I dodge back, and I start doing my charge sword moves. And pretty much every time he ends his combo, poke him, dodge, dodge. However, this bridge is not that long. At some point, you're gonna end up reaching the end. What do? Boom. This is where the flying sumo comes in like a G. Those iframes, extremely useful when you're stuck into tight corridors. And with my full heat bar, I can do 3 of those moves dealing massive damage. Oh, somewhat massive damage. It's not that massive, but like, it's some pretty good damage. And the flying sumo also gives me enough time to run away from this maniac, because the thing when he's in the second phase, he is a monster. He does not stop swinging. You have to be extremely careful with this guy. He just keeps going and going. So yeah, this Amon fight is 4 phases. He kind of copies that cool guy with the guitar music, except this time every phase is like a full-ass boss fight instead of just being like 1 health bar. No, this guy is 3 health bars for every single phase. It's a long one. There is a good reason why this fight takes 11 minutes. Finally, he's done and over with. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to drop a little bomb here. I actually get hit during this fight. However, technically, it's still no damage. You wanna know why? I don't got no health, man, so I don't take any damage. Ah! So yeah, okay, I get hit twice throughout this whole fight. That's the first time, and the second time is going to be for a very painful reason. But pretty much, technically, this is not no damage. Sadly, it can't classify as a no-hitter, though. Ooh. But yeah, this is it's technically no damage because like there's this one heat bar upgrade where that pretty much kind of qualifies as like a second shield. Kind of like in Halo where like, you know, you have your shield, and once that shield drops, like your actual health gets affected. But you know, I don't take no damage to my actual health because, you know, I got the shield here, so technically no damage. And you know, I mean, the only reason I'm like kind of going with this is because like that second phase of the fight is so painful, and I finally was able to do no damage of it, only to get whiffed in this third and fourth phase of the fight. Oh, it is so painful. I cannot deal with it. Remember that fire attack I mentioned with the 5th demon? Amon also steals that, and he does it very rarely in the first and there it is. He does it very rarely in the first, third, and fourth phases of the fight, but it gets my ass in the fourth phase. And the reason it gets your ass so quickly is because, oh man, it has extremely like long reach. Like way longer than you would expect given from the animation. The animation is just like this short little fart. Nope, that is a tornado. you immediately have to dodge and get out of the way, or keep an extreme, like, far away distance, because it hits long. So yeah, anyways, first phase is kind of copying a lot of moves from the sword fighters. Second phase is just like copying your dual sword style. And the third phase here is just kind of copying the final boss of the game with just far longer reach. I love the effect on the sword, because the sword he's holding is actually not that long, but then there's like these effects here that just make it way longer. And also here is one of the heat moves you can unlock through Revelations. It's one of the last ones, because it's pretty much like this big ultimate move you can only do when your heat bar is completely full, and it's pretty cool, and I do keep spamming against this guy just for show. But yeah, the reason relearning all the moves is kind of a pain in the ass, because you pretty much have to do it through the trainers and Revelations. And some Revelations you have to do side quests to trigger. And I am not going to like do all of, like, the Revelations games just to have all my moves to do like no damage against the final boss fights. And in the end, I really didn't need to do everything to like get some pretty good stats on the final boss fights. However, I did miss a few like cool moves, like one where if you stand close to an enemy you can slash them up in the air. I really would have appreciated that when I was dealing with the ninjas, but oh well, I forgot what Revelation triggered that. Thankfully, I was able to get the flying sumo one without hassle, because that is my favorite move in the game and it helped me a ton. And well, I did enough training to get all the cool like technical moves. And now here is the fourth phase of the fight, which is kind of insane. So pretty much what Amon does is he just copies the style you're holding. And well, pretty much, okay, there's the whiff with the fire. That it comes out so fast. And there comes another point where he like does it twice in a row. And I do manage to dodge it, which is pretty epic. But still, it is such bullshit that he does it. So anyways, the fourth phase of the fight is pretty much he just copies the style you're doing. His first phase is just the one-handed style. His second phase is a two-handed style. His third phase is the great sword. And then his final phase is just this. So pretty much what I do is I just take out my sword here, because that is the easiest phase to deal with. Because, I mean, dual swords, you just, you know, that's like Tiger Drop Central. Because the only way I was able to deal with a dual sword is using a single sword. So that's just not going to work out. And the great sword, there is no way you're going to be able to deal with like great sword Amon with your own great sword. It's just going to be way too slow. You're not going to have enough moves to react to it. And if you go single-handed, well, I haven't tried it because this fight takes a while. I'm not, like, with all these like attempts, I am not gonna go single-handed just for the meme. But there is a fun little variable here where if you get too far from Amon, he just pulls out a gun and shoots you. Which gun? The gun the final boss has, which has no reactions, no telegraphs to deal with, and you can't block it unless you have the greatsword, which in this fight you're not going to have because you're going to get screwed over if it's no damage. You're definitely, so yeah, I'm sticking with the single sword here. It is a decent replacement for the dual sword, not as effective, yeah, but it does the job. Anyway, here we go. Fire. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you for that story summary sometime in the future. I wouldn't expect it soon. I really haven't started on it. Okay, bye.